Welcome to Dungeon, a fast paced, monster filled card game of deception, chaos, and clever plays. Whether you're a seasoned explorer or new to the dungeon, here's how to dive right in. To start, shuffle the deck well and place the deck in the middle. Deal 5 cards to each player. Grab a card from the top of the dungeon deck, make sure it's a monster, and place it next to it. This will be the first monster from the dungeon. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the card layout. At the bottom of each monster card, you will find the following: the monster type, the biome, and the power level. In this case, we're looking at a man-eating plant from a cave biome. In this case, the man-eating plant has a power level of 1. Now, on the player's turn, they will take a look at their hand. This particular player has a cave skeleton, which actually would be a valid placement. Any other cave biome monster or a man-eating plant would be valid at this point. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at the card layout for this monster. Here we can see it is a skeleton type and it is a cave environment or cave biome monster. This is a power level 2 monster. Now let's assume the next player does not have a skeleton or another cave biome monster. Instead, he has 2 adventure cards. Adventures can vary from biome neutral to biome specific adventures. In this case, we have 2 biome neutral adventures, meaning we can place these regardless of the current biome. If we take a closer look at the power level, on the right side we have a power level 1 adventure, and on the left side we have a power level 2 adventure. On this case, we will use a power level 2 adventure. You can only place adventures that are equal or greater at the power level of the monster that is currently on top of the dungeon. When placing down an adventure, the following action takes effect. The monster that was last placed in the dungeon will go back to the hand of whoever laid the card. Once the monster has been returned to the original owner, the adventure will now sit on top of the dungeon pile. In this particular case, we have a biome neutral adventure. When a biome neutral adventure is on top of the pile, the next player is allowed to place a monster from any biome available. If this adventure had been biome specific, you would continue to place creatures or monsters from that specific biome. Now a new biome has been set. Keep in mind, the end goal of this game is to place all of your cards in the dungeon until you have no cards left. If you do not have a valid placement, you will draft a card from the dungeon deck until you are able to place a card. There is no limit of how many cards you can hold in your hand. But remember, the end goal is to get rid of all the dungeon cards, place them until you have nothing left. Now, besides adventurers and monsters, we also have the following cards available: Change Biome, Mana Surge, Skip, and Curse Gift. These special cards can be placed in any biome after any card, meaning they can go after a monster or after an adventure. Each card will have a specific effect and take place immediately after placement. We also have Reflector and Temporal Flip. The only card that can be used out of turn is Reflector. This card can be used to return any ability effect to its original sender. For example, if anybody targets you with the Cursed Gift, you can place down this card, even if it's out of turn, to return that ability to its sender, and they will have to draft the 2 cards. After that takes effect, the game continues its original order. Now, let's say this player has placed all his cards in the dungeon and he is down to the last card in his hand. On this case, the last card was actually a skeleton from the forest biome, and the last card in the dungeon was a skeleton from the seashore biome. You can change biomes by placing the same type of monster. And this is how you win. Thanks again for tuning in, and see you in your next adventure. This has been Dunjen.